Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the financial blueprint of SAP. You know, it's the system that acts as the digital nervous system for so many of the world's biggest companies. So here's our game plan. We're going to build a digital company right from scratch, using SAP's Blueprint. We'll start with the basics, what SAP even is. Then we'll lay down the foundation with the company structure, figure out the language it speaks, set its calendar, and establish the rules of the road for daily business. And finally, we'll see how it all snaps together to create a perfect digital twin of a company's finances. Okay, first things first. To really get this blueprint, we need to know the architect. So what exactly is SAP, and where did it even come from?
Have you ever wondered how a massive global company, juggling dozens of countries, currencies, and literally thousands of transactions a minute, how do they get a single, accurate picture of their finances, like right now? Well, the answer is a super powerful software that acts as the company's central command center.
And that software is SAP. At its very core, its financial module is built to do one thing incredibly well: process every single financial transaction the moment it happens. This creates what's known as a single source of truth. It's a huge deal because it means everyone, from the CEO down to the junior accountant, is looking at the exact same up-to-the-second numbers. No arguments, no confusion.
And this system didn't just appear out of thin air. It grew up. It started in the 70s as one big, clunky mainframe system. Then in the 80s, it split into two, but the 90s, that's when the magic happened. It moved to this three-tier structure, separating how it looks, how it thinks, and how it remembers things. That was a total game changer, and it's what allows it to be the powerhouse that modern businesses need.
Okay, so let's start actually building our digital company. We're going to start at the very top, looking at how SAP maps out the organization's structure. So in the SAP universe, the absolute highest level is just called the company. You can think of this as the big umbrella, the parent corporation for a huge multinational group. But here's the interesting part. You don't have to create one. It's actually optional. Now, what is not optional is this next piece, the company code. This is the real workhorse. A company code is a single, independent, legal entity. It's the part of the business for which you have to generate official financial statements, like a balance sheet or a P&L for the government. This one's mandatory, no way around it. And this really breaks down the difference, doesn't it? The company is all about the internal, big-picture view for the corporate group. But the company code, that's all about the official books that go out to tax authorities and regulators. It's the crucial line between managing the business internally and being compliant externally.
So this leads to a pretty logical question, right? Can one big corporate group have a bunch of these different legal entities all linked together inside the system?
And the answer is a big yes. A single company can manage tons of company codes. But, and this is a huge but, there's a golden rule. For it all to make sense, every single one of them has to operate on the same calendar. And, maybe even more importantly, they all have to speak the exact same financial language.
All right, so we just said they all have to speak the same financial language. So what in the world does that actually mean? What defines it?
That language is called the chart of accounts. The best way to think about it is like a master dictionary for every possible financial account in the company. It's the official list of every single bucket, from office supplies to sales revenue, where money can be recorded. Every single company code has to have one of these to work. But here's the clever part. It's not a one-size-fits-all dictionary. SAP is smarter than that. A big global company can use an operating chart for its day-to-day business, then link that to a special country-specific one to meet, say, local tax laws in France, and then map both of those to a group chart for consistent reporting back at headquarters. Pretty neat. All right, we've got the structure and we've got the language. So let's talk about time. How does SAP handle the calendar?
Well, time in SAP Finance is all controlled by something called a fiscal year variant. This basically sets the company's official accounting calendar. It usually has the 12 periods you'd expect, like months, but it also has up to 4 special periods that are only used for year-end adjustments and closing the books. In this calendar is super flexible. You can have a year-independent one, which is just what it sounds like, January 1st to December 31st, same thing every year. Or you can have a year-dependent one, where the dates can shift. This is perfect for businesses like retail, which often use a 4-4-5-week calendar to make sure their quarters are always perfectly comparable. And this is where SAP's famous control really comes into play. The posting period variant is like a super strict bouncer at a club. Once a month is over and the books are closed, this thing locks the door. No one can sneak in and make a change, which keeps the financial records completely secure and accurate. Okay, structure's in place. We have our language. The calendar's set. So, how does SAP actually manage the thousands upon thousands of transactions that happen every single day? What are the rules?
The secret sauce here is a little something called a posting key, and it sounds almost too simple. It's just a 2-digit code, but trust me, this little code is one of the most powerful control tools in the entire system. Every single financial entry is ruled by one.
So check this out. That tiny 2-digit number does 3 huge jobs. First, it decides the account type. Are we talking about a customer, a supplier, or just a general account? Second, it determines if it's a debit or a credit. And third, it literally controls what the user sees on the screen, which fields they have to fill out, which are optional, and which are hidden completely. It is the ultimate rule enforcer.
Okay, let's step back for a second. Let's take a look at the complete digital blueprint that we've just built from the ground up.
You can really see how it all just layers together so logically. You've got the big company at the top. Underneath, you have your legal entities, the company codes. They're all tied together by a common language, the chart of accounts, and a common calendar. And then at the ground level, the posting keys act like traffic cops directing every single transaction. It's a beautifully clear structure that creates an incredibly robust model of the business. Because at the end of the day, these aren't just a bunch of technical settings. They are the financial DNA of a company. Together, they create a digital twin that defines how a business sees itself, how it measures its success, and how it tells its financial story to the world, all in real time. What we've looked at today is the very foundation that turns raw data into true financial intelligence.